Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Loomis show. Sorry if the microphone sounds weird. For some reason, my normal mic here isn't working. But if it's your first time here or do you know the deal, please hit that like button and subscribe up. And today's guest, we've got Mikey Faz back on to talk some music, talk some Mafia history. And tomorrow we got a great show that I already edited up that's going to be dropping. It's a music one. And Mikey will get into it and how he grew up and like with his family and stuff like that with Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, and all that. And we talk about many other bands, but it was a great show. I got done editing it today. It was just I loved it, and every time I get together with Mikey, we have a blast on here. So let's bring Mikey in. Mikey, how are you doing?
Hey, what's going on? I'm doing good, brother. Good to see you.
All right, good. So now, all right, now we can hear each other great. Right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, man. Perfect.
All right. So my normal microphone though is for some reason acting up, and I don't know why, but so it's going through the laptop. Hopefully it sounds all right. Like I don't know, does it sound all right?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
So I guess the microphone on this laptop, it is a good laptop. I guess it is good and stuff like that though. But I don't know what's going on with this, and I'm gonna have to get this laptop checked out. So this was though like a last minute live, as I was saying though before. Tomorrow's episode that's dropping. I'm excited for it, man. We touched on besides just the Bon Jovi history aspect of it, we touched on, probably every main like band out there, hip hop. For all the way from Eminem to Sabbath to Queen to freaking Zeppelin to Bon. Obviously a lot of Bon Jovi though, with what you were explaining. But just briefly, well, first off, I know you've been on a bunch of times, but for anyone though who's going to see this for the first time, an encyclopedia, but keep that in mind. That's our keyword, encyclopedia. Remember?
Encyclopedia.
You saying up? You saying up? No, well, it's not as important though because we don't have to be that level-headed though. And the reason why I say encyclopedia is because sometimes Mikey will sink as the show goes on.
I sink.
But there you are, my man. So yeah, just let the people know where you're from. Just a little brief history on yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from New Jersey, Central Jersey, place called Perth Amboy. Grew up acting, in and out of acting, in and out of the music scene, hip hop scene. And just recently landed a gig on a show called Capo Rise to Power, where I play Paulie Baresi, which is basically 80s flashback scenes of this Mafia series. And that's on Amazon Prime and Tubi right now, streaming and trending. That's us. And that's my recent work. And I just grew up doing a lot of stuff, extra work on TV, a lot of independent films. and it just
Tell
always
the
had the
story though,
acting.
real quick though. Tell the story about this right here.
So I was up for the role of Colodro, which is basically Francis Capra right there. You see with Robert De Niro. I was
Out
up
of
for
how
that
many
role.
people? How
I
many
beat out
people?
about 3,000 kids nationwide, down to like the last three or four. You know, Francis Capra being one of them, and then they decided to go with one of the kids from the neighborhood. You know, who just couldn't really. I guess you can't fake it when you're from the neighborhood. I'm obviously not from the neighborhood. I'm from Jersey, although I do a hell of a Brooklyn accent and a Bronx accent. But they wanted to go with the kid from the neighborhood, and he did a fantastic job, and he's a legend. But yeah, that's my story.
Well, even though from editing though, this episode that drops tomorrow, the pre-record about and the story's unbelievable, by the way, and it changes a little bit of history and music, but that's going to air tomorrow. But um, what got you at that age? Because I was looking at the picture of you with the Bon Jovi thing around you, like you look like young Clodro and all that stuff, though. So
Yeah,
because I'm not sure if I remember what was there, but was there a bunch of ads going out and stuff though to trial for this part, and your family took you to trial for the part, and they obviously they loved you. I mean, out of 3,000 people, I mean, you were in like top five, top three, whatever the number was. I mean,
yeah,
itself is a huge accomplishment, even though if you didn't get the role. I mean, that is huge.
yeah. To even be considered for it, yeah.
1,000 people, man, and
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
you're
at the time, it was a different time, Loomis. It wasn't like what it is now. I mean, I had an agent, so I would go on constant auditions. So that audition I got through an agent that I had in Manhattan. His name was Mike Amato, and he was literally on top of the Winter Garden Theater, which was where that theater show Cats used to play at. Do you remember that? They used to always promote it.
cats,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it was right above there. And at that time, I'm sure they had open auditions. It was like calling all cars at that time. You know, from people who had an agent, from open calls to people scouting. You know, they even found Lilo on the beach. Like it was a mixture of everything at that time because it was a
That's
big
yeah.
film. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things where they were just starting to cast it, but everybody knew it was going to be big. You know, De Niro was on fire back then. Obviously, Chaz was a newcomer in that sense to do something that big with De Niro, which he sat on for a long time. We know now in hindsight, we didn't know back then. But yeah, I was up for that role, and I kept getting callbacks and callbacks. I want to say I got about 5 or 6 callbacks before they picked Francis Capra.
Got you. So at the time, though, as when you were young, you were probably hurt, devastated because we don't know a lot
Of
about
course.
life at the time when we're young. But when you get older, you can appreciate the fact, though, out of 3,000 people, though, that you made it down to the top like
Of
five or
course.
top three, whatever it was, and that's just incredible,
Yeah, I
incredible.
mean, even adult athletes cry right when they lose a big game. All the work that they put in, it happens. I put a lot of work in. I read that scene in and out. It was the steak scene. Remember, Colodro, your father wants to talk to you. How many times I got to drive this bus back and forth to eat so his family could eat steak? I had that. I still have it. I still have the scene. It's a little blurry because it was faxed, but I
Yeah,
still have it. And I kept reading that over and over and memorizing. So I put a lot of work in. I went to West Barron Acting School in Manhattan. I take this shit seriously, and it's become a family business now.
yeah. There you go. And also to your family, though. I mean, this right here is your mom and pops. Um, with
Yeah,
Mr. Sam Kennison, right? And that's not like just meeting Sam Kennison. That's them at was this Bon Jovi's wedding?
that was John and Dorothea's wedding. Yeah, they got married, I believe, like they eloped, but then they came back and had an official ceremony and reception. And my parents obviously were first on the list. There goes my
And there,
mom with
there's your
Richie.
mom with Richie Sambora, the guitarist of obviously John Bon Jovi.
That's in
And
Sayreville, New Jersey. That was at a Christmas party that we used to go to every year. I was probably running around there somewhere as a little kid. Who knows? We were in the Christmas parties every year. We're very close with them. This is around 1990, 91. I got on the I look like a lieutenant in the Genovese crime family. Look at me. That's me and John, man. Yeah, man.
no, yeah, so I mean it wasn't though just I mean you guys really knew each other and
Yeah.
the story though with the pizza place though where I mean that's the inside though of it though right there, but the
Yes.
outside though
There's
right
my dad.
there is where they they were on MTV one time and they were shouting it out. What do they say? The Pete's, I forget. How did
It
they
was
say
called
it?
they said, "Tell us about the pizza parlor jury," and that was the pizza parlor jury, yeah. But tune into the episode to get the whole story behind that, and you'll see
Yeah,
what
tune
what
in
we're talking about.
tomorrow, and we get into everything from just I can't put like but I didn't put the picture up too though, but Sil was at the I call him Sil, but he was at the wedding too, and all that stuff.
Yeah, little Stevie. Yeah, he was
Stevie.
known as Little Stevie back then, right? And he was there with his wife, who's on the show too, as well. Forget what the hell her name is. Yeah, he was at the wedding. My parents took pictures with everybody, man. They sat at the table with Ringo Starr, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? Two middle class working people, blue collar from Perth Amboy immigrants who just happened to run into Bon Jovi, man. The story's cool. Check us out tomorrow on the episode, and we go into it in depth, how we met and all that stuff.
3
Pretty
p.m.
cool.
Eastern. That'll be out tomorrow, and that's not a live. That's a pre-record, edited up. Um, Say some hellos. What's up to Get to Ducking Point? Love the name. How you doing, my man from NYC? How you doing? Thanks
What's
for
up,
being
brother?
here. My
Thanks
man
for the
Davey's in
support.
the house. We put
Dave,
this
what
up
up, Dave?
probably. Yeah, we put this up probably about so I got done editing this like close to 6 o'clock, and then we just put the live up real quick. So this hasn't been up though long, but give you the like before you even start. Frank, my man, hope you're feeling
Frankie.
hope you're fully recovered from your surgery, my friend. Great to see you as well. And anyone else who's watching, this is also one of those lives where, you know, we're just shooting the breeze. The real episode pops out tomorrow. Feel free to ask questions, call me an asshole, come in, say hello. I don't care. It is what it is.
Call me
And
the whole ass. Don't call me an asshole. Call me the whole ass.
I'll alas. But yeah, so this is
Oh,
a very open, friendly live chat. If anyone wants to hop in though. So Mike, so Capo Rise to Power, which is streaming now on Amazon Prime. Uh
and
for
Tubi.
everyone out there to know, just type in Capo Rise to Power. You can check that out. I believe it's a six episode series, correct?
It's actually a 4 episode.
Four.
Yeah. The first season is more of like a mini series, but the second season is going to be filmed in I want to say in fall of 2025 and should be out by 2026. And we've got a couple of people from The Sopranos. We got Robert Funaro, we got John Fiore, Gary Pastore, and a few other people that are going to be coming on for the second season. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, shout out to John Fiore. John's a great guy. He was on the show before. Great guy. Funny as hell.
Yeah, yeah, good guy.
I love following his social media. He played Gigi in Sopranos, and just a great guy. Great actor too. Great. He's on Law and Order a lot too. I see him on.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. I actually saw him on what was it, Meet the Parents. He was at the end with Ben Stiller when he came in, and he the bomb on the plane. He was actually brought in by John Fiore. John Fiore's everywhere. Robert Funaro as well too. He played Eugene on The Sopranos, if you remember. Remember Eugene on The Sopranos?
Oh yeah, Eugene. Yeah, yeah. He wanted
Yeah,
to move to Florida, and then but
exactly.
members only,
Yeah,
Jack. Yeah.
exactly. Eugene, man. He's gonna be on too as well. And yeah, man, we're excited, dude. It's
I got confused. It's 4 part because I guess 6 part. I'm doing that 6 part Buffalino thing on their page. That's why I said 6 parts. So it's 4 episodes. I had what do you call it though? You guys are doing those season 2, and
season 2. Yeah, season 2.
congratulations
The
to
season 2 will
you.
have a lot of episodes. It won't just be like a mini series. It'll be extended episodes too as well.
And congratulations to you, Jimmy
Thank you, brother.
Bartise, and your brother Tony
There
Foz,
he is.
and the man Tony. I love that guy. But and who's the actress again? Who's in the base? She's incredible. The actress who is like in in that scene, the old scene
Oh,
that
Mama
played.
Josephine. Mama Josephine. That's Nicole Kerr. Shout out to Nicole Kerr, talented singer as well too, musician, all around artist, man. And she did her thing on that show.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, absolutely, completely convincing. Because I remember that scene popped out before the actual episode popped, and I saw a clip of it. And I was just like, "Wow, she's good." Like like she's
And she's
very
an
good for
awesome person too. And she's an
yeah,
awesome person too as well.
she it's like they always say, like when you watch actors, if you're ever on a set or whatever, it's just look like a normal conversation. Sometimes like you'll see certain stuff that comes out and like, you could tell if someone's good or whatever.
Yeah.
She's absolutely though could be in like freaking movie, like the way she acts. Same with you and Tony. But I
Thank
mean
you, man.
she's absolutely fantastic.
I
And
appreciate
you know me, I don't bullshit, and I tell it like it is, and that's why I get hate, but it is the way it is. But she
that.
was absolutely though fantastic though in that as well. So so what's been going on though now, man? How's everything going?
Everything's good, man. I'm with basically starting this company with my friend. It's called Resto Rebuild. So we do like, all kinds of renovation, water damages, complete construction solutions company. So that's what I'm doing now as far as my 9 to 5, when I'm not crying on camera and getting killed and killing people on camera, I guess.
No, I hear you there, my friend. Chris, how you doing, buddy, on this
Chris, what
Friday
up?
night? Thanks for being here. Get to the I'm your Irish lady from NYC. I love it. Get to Ducking Point. Love it. Um, Irish all the way. DJ Salute. Mikey's Italian. I'm Irish, but I mean Italian heritage is freaking fantastic. I love it. You know what I mean? Every Italian household I ever went to, you always leave though with a full belly.
Yeah,
They're always cooking, and just
I love my
great.
Irish. I love my girl's half Irish. I love my Irish women, and you Irish guys are fucking some tough white boys. I tell you that.
Well, what was I going to say? Well, there's a lot of people though from around here. Like when I was playing, that's why I'm going to have some on. Like for example, the mob genre. It's kind of funny to me. There's people that aren't known like that. Meaning like that done a lot of time that I know from around here that are like true tough guys that did you know, that makes some of the people though that like that come out here like look like not nothing, but they're not on Wikipedia. They don't have shows or whatever. But I'm gonna have some of them on the show, and yeah, just some wild stuff though that happened though, like around here. I want to like start besides obviously where I'm from. The Buffalino family's from here, but this has like nothing to do with that. I'm talking about like just neighborhood type people from around here because when we were growing up this where I live in Wilkes-Barre. It's broken up into parts. You got the north end, you got east end where I live, then you got South Wilkes-Barre, then there's Miners Mills, Plains, but east end was always like predominantly Irish. And it was like back in the day where we didn't even have to lock our screen doors. You know what I mean? It was fantastic. Like you didn't have to worry about any BS. You didn't have to freaking get your gun ready when someone knocks on the door or you hear someone on the porch. It was a different world back then. And
Yeah, a
growing
lot
up
more
outside,
morals. A lot of
oh yeah,
morals back
no,
then.
it was great. My Rats One, how you doing? This guy right here, folks. He's got a great Instagram as well. Follow him on Instagram. If anyone wants to follow me on Instagram, my link is in the description. And also Mikey Faz at Mikey Faz, Fazz. I'll put your name up though, Mikey. But Mob Rats One, I like though what he does. I like how he breaks stuff down, and
It's a
he's
cool
just
logo
got
you have, Mob Rats. I like that logo.
Aaron Go Bra, DJ. What is up? Some people now popping in. Because this wasn't again. I was at it literally, Mikey. That episode was it was fun to edit because you got to watch everything and all over again, but then going back and then editing and editing. So like all day today though, man, I was on it and I just hope I make you proud, man. I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, you always do, brother. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited to see it, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, what? I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I'm no like professional editor. Hold on. Oh, absolutely, Mavericks One. I love what you do. You're fit like you make solid points and you know, you're not it's just like you know what you're talking about and you got a great presence on screen and very well spoken. I need to work on this and like I sound like an idiot a lot. Like I'm always like, but I'm
Yeah.
working on
No,
that.
no, it's all
You
it's
know
all
what I
good,
mean?
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
I'm not,
course, man.
I mean, but the funny thing is, I don't even maybe it's a nervous tick. I don't know because I'm not nervous at all right now, to be honest with you. And I just
Yeah.
got started back doing this, but I mean, I get like fired up. And when we were talking about the music and stuff, I was just all like, and when I get like fired up and energetic, I never mean to cut off. It's not like, oh, let me talk, Black. I need to talk. It's just, I just get so excited, but I'm working on like, you
Mhm.
know, I'm not an idiot. So working on, speaking more fluently without this and that, but see, I just said it. But
It's like anything
but
else, right? It's a craft, brother. Even just speaking is a craft. So it
well,
takes
it
it takes
really
time.
is.
Yeah,
It
no
really
doubt.
is. And that's why, like, whenever I try to do shorts, I write up everything. And if I'm talking about Sabbath or like when I do music shorts, uh pretty much they're mainly off the cuff, but it is a lot better though when I write it down. But when I write stuff down and I do it, it just doesn't come out. It'll be like I don't want it to sound like I'm reading, even though I'm the one though that wrote it. I don't want it to sound though like I'm reading.
Of
So
course. That's like,
it's
again, being a musician, right? That's like a vocalist. They'll take a song and they'll write a song out, and it's either sounding robotic and reading it, or is it flowing natural, like, putting the emphasis on it and making it flow. Where's the flow to it, and the melody and the cadence, and these things are difficult. They're all crafts. It's just something that you got to do over and over.
well, they are though too, and then and the one guy was writing the comments. He's just like, I forget which episode it was, but he said something like, "You need to learn though how to speak though better, like with the live." And I just wrote back to him, like, "Do you have a page? Do you do it?" Because I mean, it's not very it's not as easy though as it looks. When you just
Absolutely not.
when you're coming in off the cuff doing whatever. But you'll get that though at times. And I'm finally getting them out because I used to always say, I hate my voice. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm over that BS. I can't help what my voice sounds like. It is what it is. But uh, working on not being a better conversationalist, but just being able to speak. And I get excited. Like when we're talking, when you'll see tomorrow during that episode, because it's the first I did a lot of music shorts, but it's the first legitimate music episode. And I've been trying to get into the music, talking. That's my number one is music. I've been playing music for
Yeah,
over 30 years, been playing piano over
exactly.
30 years, and I love it. And talking music, talking bands, all that. I get extremely excited, and that's where that all comes from. But it is what it is. Thank you, DJ. Yeah, like, subscribe, and definitely comment. And tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, guys, definitely check out the episode. It's a pre-record, so I mean it'll be up. But if you're around at 3, check it out. And I think maybe I might set it up as a premiere. Maybe, yeah, maybe set it up as a premiere for a live chat. If you don't, I don't know if you know what that means, Mike. Because with YouTube, if I just drop it, it'll it's just a video and to see what happens. But if I set it up as a premiere, um, we're not on live, but you get to see the people who are watching live, and we conversate. There's like an actual live chat while
Hmm.
the premiere comes out. So maybe I'll set it up though that way.
That could be
And
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
definitely check it out that way. And we got a lot of lot of new stuff though coming up. Bobby Bright again from Canada though, he's gonna be on. And guys, make sure you check out though that Bobby Bright, The Hard Life, and part 2 of that will be coming up as well. So Mike, I like though what we were talking about last time though about you know working our way up in the world of like business and what you're trying to achieve, and having like plans and stuff like that. You know uh you were talking about where you want to be at a certain times, this and that, like goals, this and that, instead of just working for someone else, like so what is that like not you don't have to get in detail in the exact company, but what is the like, did something like hit you like, I don't want to just keep working under someone else's thumb, or like I want to start doing my own thing? Like what was it that motivated that?
I was sick of making other people rich. Bottom line, man. I'm one hell of a salesman. And I'm not even a salesman. What it is with me is like I like to get to know people. I'm a people person, right? I enjoy meeting people. I ran across somebody recently that's, that we were together. The guy was selling roof stuff. And I'm like, oh, that person is Puerto Rican, right? Because they're from my. He's like, what does it matter what they are? I'm like, it matters to me because I like meeting people. I want to be able to connect with them. So there's different kinds of people. And this guy's one hell of a salesman, but he has tunnel vision. So I just like meeting people, man. I like to shoot the shit with people, getting to know them. It's what drives me. I actually like people, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to the service industry. So a lot of what made me break off and go, basically do the company thing. This company was already established, Resto Rebuild. My boy Rob, shout outs to Rob Samora. I love you,
Yeah.
brother. He started it about 5 years ago, and he's always been telling me, come on over, come on over. And I finally did. I finally took a leap of faith and we did it. And it's just, being able to work with somebody that you actually care for and have love for, genuine love. These other people that I worked for, they didn't give a shit about me. I was a cash register to them. You know what I mean? I could feel it when I walked in the office in the morning. The kid, he's way too cocky and yada yada. I'm like, if I don't believe it, nobody's gonna believe it, brother. You know what I mean? Like, I got to come
Yeah,
around
and
and
you
talk
want to
my
work for
shit.
someone. You know what I never understood? Why don't like where's the encouragement at a lot of these jobs? Like, if I was a boss or whatever, like you want to encourage at least your employees.
Yeah,
Tell them they're doing a good job. Let them know that they're recognized and all that type of stuff.
exactly. What's wrong with that? That's that mentality of, oh, they just keep people down because they don't want them to know their worth and whatnot. And it's like, how I look at it is like I'm an idea person, so I thrive off of enthusiasm. I don't even want to say that I need to be complimented, but it gives me confidence. Being complimented gives me confidence. It's just
Yeah.
how my personality is. I don't want nobody to kiss my ass. And a lot of yeah, I'm not the best, right? But I got to feel like I am in order to keep that aura around me and to keep it growing. There's plenty of people. There's people that are bigger than me. There's people that are tougher than me, of course. But I feel like I can't be touched because that's the only way that I can deliver. If that makes sense.
No, that's the
Like I gotta
mentality
believe
though
it.
that you should. That I love that. I love
Yeah, man.
that, and
Yeah,
that's not being cocky. That's confidence right there, my friend. That's
yeah, man.
confidence, and
Yeah.
that's how you got to be. That's how I am now. Like when I came back, I took like a little bit 2 month though hiatus, was doing a bunch of stuff like behind the scenes, family stuff, setting up other stuff for other people pleasing this and that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Meaning I'm gonna have on whoever the hell I want to have on the show. I'm gonna
Mhm.
do whatever the hell I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna say what's really in my mind. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, you can't say this about that or this." I don't care anymore. I don't care if I become the most hated on here or whatever. But I'm not gonna hide like what's in my mind. I'm gonna be true to who I am. And you
Yeah,
know me, I don't kiss ass. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your status is and this and that. I judge everyone by the merit of when I meet someone.
yeah.
And that's what I judge them by. I don't
That's
care if you did this or that, which brings me into like, the mafia though type stuff. And that's just how I am.
yeah,
I don't know if I'm like that because, I met a lot of those guys. I know a lot of those guys, but it's nothing that just going back to the fanboy stuff. It's just that's not me.
yeah,
And just like I just did an episode on Buffalino about Panisi, and people were like, "How is someone like you gonna know when John Panisi was a made man?" And then I laughed because I first off, like we all of us we know that from this area. Second off, the paperwork, and third off, like they're showing clips of like with his actual family. So like it's not that I'm just some like reporter like looking up whatever. Like I have a relationship though with the family, and I also but people will just they'll always whenever you speak in the gray area, people just don't like narratives being if they like someone, no matter you could show the footage of them on camera doing a certain thing, and they'll be like, nah, that's not true. That's not true. And that's just the way that it is. So,
yeah,
whatever. It is what it is. But that episode that I put up though is the absolute truth on how that happened, though, to Russell. And that's what brings me, like I said, into the mafia. This man, ladies and gentlemen, he knows the over in Italy, we did an episode, and Mike, your knowledge on the actual mafia over there is second to none. And
yeah,
uh, explain a little bit, the differences between La Cosa Nostra in America and what's going on over there. And you're the one that actually taught me, like the Neapolitans, like they're more flashy and stuff because they're like from the city and stuff like that, as opposed to. But just go ahead, give me a little bit of like
Yeah. So I mean, in Italy, especially in southern Italy, obviously, the American Cosa Nostra is an olive branch of the Sicilian Cosa Nostra, right? Where most can debate is where it started, but there's a mafia in Calabria, and then there's a mafia in Naples, and there's a mafia in Puglia, and these mafias that are in Sicily and Calabria, they're more rural, they're more of a you know secretive, I guess. And in Naples, they're more how an Italian explained it to me. The Neapolitans are city people, so they don't really give a shit who knows. They wear it on their sleeve, In Calabria, they're very secretive, And but what the common what's the word I'm looking for? Like the common thing between all of them is it's a blood oath, right? In America, it's a blood oath. Over there, it's more of a blood tie. You're born into it, you're married into it, or you're baptized into it. Families unite in Italy, mafia families through marriage, through St. John. If you're baptizing, like if I baptize your son, Loomis, and we're both crime families, that unites those crime families. Because now you're going in a church, you're doing a ceremony, and under God, you're becoming family. Because St. John to Italian people, that's why they call each other compari. Compari, hey, compari. That's basically people coming together as family. So that's how they unite in Italy, or their daughters marry the sons of powerful people, the same way. Where versus America, it was a little bit like that too as well. There's some of it, right? I think what John Gotti was doing as well, he was trying to make everybody that was in his family around him, which was a smart move. It's a Neapolitan thing to do. And it's also a Sicilian thing to do, and it's a Calabrese thing to do. You just want to keep the bloodline pure. And a lot of it, believe it or not, is generational stuff. So it's what they're taught. So if you see mafia families in Italy, they go back generations. It's not, something that was created 100 years ago, something that was created hundreds of years ago. And those bloodlines still are in control to this day.
Yeah, and Modbranch one says like there's a big difference between the two. And I like though, Mikey, what you said about how they would even like sing their children like the
Lullabies.
lullabies and stuff, like when their son's born masculine. Like, listen, we all know that last time we did the episode, there's people like that happens in America too. Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
there are instances where that happens in
Yeah,
America, but over there, that
yeah.
is that's what they do. Like,
Yeah, there's traditions that carry on in America. Where, please don't take this the way I'm saying it. It only happens in Italy. Yeah, there's traditions that go on here, but what I'm saying is that's where it comes from. And it's still to this day a very powerful thing, especially in Calabria. If you do any kind of research on the Calabrese, which are called the 'Ndrangheta, which is they're all over the world. La Cosa Nostra wasn't all over the world. 'Ndrangheta's everywhere. They're in Canada. They're in South America. They're in Australia. And the reason why is because Calabria has, I believe, the second biggest container port in Europe. So who controls the containers in the ports controls the cocaine and heroin trade, just like Montreal, right? People sleep on the fact how powerful the Rizzutos were is because they controlled the port. So all the drugs came in through there. It's the same thing in Calabria. These guys control 90% of the coke that's trafficked through Europe. And yeah, people are going to get on here and say the Albanians and yada, yada, but it starts in Calabria. And this is not me. Just go look it up. You know what I mean? There's thousands of documentaries that can back up what I'm saying. Interpol can tell you that the Calabrese right now are the strongest organized crime syndicate in the world. Set aside from the cartels in Mexico, that's different. We're not talking about that. We're talking about organized crime and their tentacles and their reach. Okay, the cartel, they ship drugs and they import drugs, but they don't distribute. They distribute in America, but they don't distribute overseas in Europe and places like that. The Calabreses do this. They do it in Australia, they do it in Canada, they do it in America, and they do it in South America.
Yeah, I mean, and you were breaking down though too how when they go on the run over there though, how they just stay in those tunnels though for like going on the run though. They're in tunnels for years, and some of those tunnels are so sophisticated, man.
The bunkers.
The bunkers.
There's a documentary called Mafia Bunkers. Look out for it. There's also a series called 000, and it's on Amazon Prime. And the story is about a cocaine shipment from Mexico to Calabria. and it actually starts off in Calabria, where my family's from, literally right where my family's from, in a place called San Luca. And we're from a town like right under San Luca, and that's the mother of the Andromeda. And it talks about a cocaine shipment, and there's a whole story on it. And they literally speak in the same dialect that my family speaks in. Because in Italy, you go from one province to another, and you can tell where they're from just by their accent changing and the dialect changing. If you see some people from North Calabria next to like, Salerno and those places, they speak a little bit different than the southern people from like Reggio and Gioia Tauro and the Piana di Gioia Tauro, which my family's from. We all speak a different dialect that's very similar to Sicilian, but you can tell that it's different.
Oh yeah, no, 100% though. And I think what Mob Rats One is saying is how they take it very, very seriously over there as compared to over here is, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe with the actual like blood oath though ties though of it though, like I mean that's just their whole world, like their whole world. Like they have a son, like they're like, yeah, like let's be honest, some of them pray to have a son because they want that son though to eventually grow up and then take over.
Yeah, it's
There could
different
be
than
women
here.
bosses at times, but explain though what really it is with the women. What you said though, with what happens though, how the women could sometimes end up being a boss.
Well, the women know what's going on. They know where the guns are. They know where the drugs are. And when, like, if you watch the episode in The Sopranos, season 2, Comandatore, with the
Unique. Real
yeah, man,
sorry,
Willie
this
Battle.
man right here. She's saying shaking my head, but that man right there is remember I was saying people around here that people don't know about that man right there. People are from Bushwick, Brooklyn. He was in control of like the construction, and even when the Lucchese's were doing the window scheme and all that. Well, he has a book out called Memoirs of a Ghetto Bastard. That man right there, and I was out there with him, did a walk and talk right in his hood and everything like that. Probably the most serious gangster in the past that I've ever met,
Yeah.
right there. So
Okay.
what's going on, William? I don't know why he's shaking his head, but what's going on, buddy? he breaks my balls all the time, but he's a good friend of mine. But no, go on though, Mike. I'm sorry. When he popped on, though, I had to shout him out quick.
Yeah, no, I think I lost my train of thought there. I forget what the hell we were.
My fault. My fault on that one, though. But I was like, oh shit. I was like unique, but that's his nickname, though. Unique, though, and he's I mean, you name it, he's been there, done that, and that's that. William Battle, just listen. Yes, Mafia Bunkers, good show.
Yes, yeah.
Dominic, what? Oh, real quick, Dominic. There, I was wondering. That's why I didn't my son changed the avatar. Watch it for a few minutes while he can. Busy weekend with the family. My father is from Reggio Calabria.
Reggio, yes, sir. The
Mike, give us a
capital
little
of Calabria.
Italian. Give us a little
Yeah,
Italian.
Reggio. Yeah, Reggio's nice, man. So
You can
Reggio
speak
is
it.
based.
By the way, folks, you can speak it fluently. So
Sì, parla italiano, bene. So, like the whole thing with like Reggio, there was a big war out there back in the day, man. It was like, but you'll never see stories on that because none of those people write books. There's another story that was wrote from a judge's perspective, and it's called Black Souls, Anime Neri, and it's a fucking crazy story. You got to watch it in the subtitles because it's all in dialect and in Italian. But it's a story about a small mafia family from Calabria and drugs and all that shit. But it's another really good movie. But there was big wars out there that you'll never hear about. You'll
and
hear
they
about the
blow up
wars.
judges. They blow up all like that's not like here. Like oh, you don't go after.
Sicily, Sicily did that. In Calabria, they don't really do that because the Calabrese know that everybody has a price. They're all about making money, and they learned from what Totorina did in Sicily. That guy basically killed everybody, killed politicians, judges. He was like the the Pablo Escobar of Sicily. Very powerful guy. But he just killed everybody, and the Calabreses know that, the way to make money is to just offer. The way to prosperity is to offer people money. Everybody has a price. And in Calabria, they don't really fight the state because they own the state. In Sicily, he fought the state because it was a war against the mafia and the state. In Calabria, they are the state. They own everything. You know what I mean? They have people everywhere, and they have to bring in cops from other places in Italy to police Calabria because what are you going to do? That's the only way to do it. So most of your cops in the town that I'm from are not from there. They're from North Italy. They're from Sicily, from Naples. There's nobody that's a cop in our town in Calabria that's from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
They're
still goes
bringing
on
it
to
in.
this day, man. Those
Yeah, how
traditions are
about
still carried.
how about the story though that you told me how they warned though something like that's where I was like, do they have any heart at all? But they'll warn a neighbor or whatever if something's gonna remember.
I've heard stuff like that back in the day. My dad used to tell me stories on like if they were gonna use a bomb to kill somebody, that they would warn the neighbors. Listen, something's going down tomorrow. Get the fuck out of Dodge. And those people usually got the fuck out of Dodge. And they didn't warn anybody, because if they did warn somebody, they would be next. But a lot of that too, like what going back to losing my train of thought. But before we were talking about how like the traditions in Italy, especially southern Italy, like the omertà and the code of silence, that reigns on people that are not even in the mafia. People just kept their mouth shut. You know what I mean?
Well, your
People didn't
grandfather,
talk.
for instance.
Yeah, my grandfather kept his mouth shut. He wasn't a
Tell him what
mouth
happened
breather.
to your and
My
you know what?
grandfather,
You
my
lost your
grandfather
train
was
of thought
in,
from the women bosses, but we'll get back to that. But tell him about your grandfather.
we were also talking about that too as well. Yeah, but so my grandfather witnessed a murder, was not a part of the murder, but was blamed for the murder. It ended up being his nephew, but my grandfather kept his mouth shut and did 20 years in jail. And then his nephew on his deathbed confessed to it, and my grandfather was released from jail. So he knew it was his nephew, but that's not his job. He kept the true code of silence, omertà. And this is a guy that wasn't involved, didn't make a dollar.
That was my next thing. He wasn't even involved, and he
what
still
could you
kept
be involved in 1950 in Calabria with olive trees and fucking mountains and horses? There's nothing to be involved in. You know what I mean? It's just a way of life. That was their code. Like, I'm not helping you find people. Like they were against government. You know what I mean? That's how the whole thing spawned from being against government, right? They policed themselves. They took care of themselves. If something happened, they didn't go to the police. They took care of it on their own. Street justice. So yeah, when that happened, my grandfather did a shit ton of time in jail, came out of jail, and kept his mouth shut. And that was it. That's a true man of honor. He wasn't in the mafia. So omertà is just a way of life for normal people out there. And those traditions were carried over in the mafia and in American Cosa Nostra.
Yes, and broken a lot in American Cosa Nostra as well. But we got
again, different times. This is different times.
Yeah, no, absolutely though. Has the FBI ever infiltrated the Ndrangheta?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, Dave. The thing about the Ndrangheta is, I'll give you an example. Right now, there was a trial a few years ago where they had to build a bunker to house 300 Ndrangheta members. In Calabria, there's over 300 families. So you're literally talking about one person from each family. There's just no way, because it's a blood tie thing. It's like, Dave, you would not rat on your father, you would not rat on your brothers if you guys had a family. That's how it is out there. They'd rather go to jail, they'd rather take their own life before giving up their own father. And the fathers out there, make no mistake, if the son tries to take over, the father will kill the son, and the grandfather will kill the son or whatever, and it makes them even more powerful. They come up to like a count, you know what I mean? Like a count in the family. And when that guy is walking around, he's most feared. That guy killed his own son. That guy killed his own grandson.
Well, yeah, what is he capable of not doing?
Exactly. The word capable. I love that word, because that's what we use right out here. Hey, he's very capable. I mean, think about how capable that guy is, and nobody fucks with a guy like that. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, they've never really infiltrated it, but they know, there's a guy out there that that's basically, fighting against them. He's decoded and deciphered all their writings. He's trying to fight them, but I mean, how are you going to fight something that that's been going on for centuries, that they're tied in traditions, dude, that they're not going to break? It's not like the Americans. They don't. Make no mistake, the American Italian is nothing like the Italian. This is why they call them grease balls. This is why there was such a division between them here in the States. And I'm an American Italian. I'm not a grease ball. My parents were Italian from Italy, but there's a big difference. There is.
Yeah, and you're over there a lot. You go over there every year?
I lived there. I went there every year. I lived there. My father's buried there. I got confirmation there. I spent many summers as a kid, pretty much every summer as a kid. growing up there. And then when my father passed away, I spent close to 11 months there before being, because you can't spend a whole year there. They'll kick you out of this, out of the country, because I'm not a citizen. But I spent close to a year there, 11 months. And I tell you, it's so different. I witnessed a lot of shit go down that, that I can't talk about. And, a lot of shit that you only read about in books.
No, I bet, man. I bet. And I can see though why though the blood ties though, because it's more trustworthy as like around here where people are joining these organizations though without the blood ties. Like it's
Yeah.
because you're not going to give up though your family. I mean, like
No.
immediate family, like your immediate, like,
Yeah, you're gonna rat on
relations.
your brother? You're gonna rat on your brother? You're gonna rat on your father? I don't think so.
And look
Which
at
is
your
why,
grandfather did, who wasn't even involved, and he wouldn't even know.
yeah,
Say, you
that
know,
murder wasn't a mafia murder. It was a murder. It was his nephew who killed somebody out of rage, and that was it. And a lot of stories, believe it or not, are vendettas. Like the Godfather, the movie The Godfather. You have to kill the kid because the kid's gonna grow up to vengeance his father, right? So there's a lot of stories where we come from. I have cousins who literally killed the man who killed his father and went up to the marshal, gave him the rifle, and said, "I killed my father. It was a vendetta. Lock me up," and they'll do 20 years in jail. They don't care. They're you take mine, I'm going to take yours. They're all about an eye for an eye. It's very biblical out there to this day.
very Exodus out there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Old Testament stuff though, right there. Yeah. So going back to the women though,
Mm-hmm.
that's more though, like if like what one of their I think you were explaining like one of their husbands is the head or whatever of something though, and he gets killed or whatever though, then the women take her like explain how does that work?
I mean, it's like the second season of Sopranos, Commandatori, when they went out to Naples. It's the same shit, dude. Like the men kill each other, right? So the women know what's going on. They know very well what's going on, and they're capable too as well to give orders. And there's women out there who have been killed. They've been killed in feuds because they've gave orders to kill other people's children, and they've been killed. In Mafia, they don't care. They'll kill. I'm sorry, Mafia. In Southern Italy, there's no code. There's babies will get killed. They're very barbaric out there. They don't care. They're very they operate like the Colombians do. You know what I mean? And the Jamaicans and all the South American people. They don't give a shit, dude. In the cartels, that's how they operate. And
And
unfortunately, that's how it is.
and
America has the code. Southern
like
Italy
my
doesn't have the
grandson,
code.
yeah, and what he's saying though, very little ratting over there. I'm
Yeah.
saying that that's probably because of those blood no ties. You know what I mean? I think that has a lot to do with it.
Well, it's because of the blood ties, and it's also because ratting on people out there will get your family killed. Versus out here, they don't really touch family. They didn't touch Sammy's family. They didn't touch
Great
a lot
point.
of people's family. Out
Great.
there, they're killing your kids. They're killing you. They're killing your kids if they can get
The
to them. Your
goldfish and
parents.
everyone. Yeah.
Everybody gets it. Yeah, it's like Escobar in the movie Blow. Oh, his parents, his children, his friends. Many people will die. Right. That
Yeah.
makes you feared. You know what I mean? And that's what keeps people from not ratting too as well, because they're scared. They don't even want to speak the words, like the word "endrangata." You couldn't even say that word less than 15, 20 years ago. No. You couldn't even say that word. Now people are saying it everywhere. It's on documentaries, and it's fine to say it. But at one time, I've known about this since I was a kid in the 80s. You couldn't even talk about it, Absolutely not.
Does Mikey have? Well, I better probably say no though, because you would have to leave after 11 months, like you
Yeah,
just
no,
said.
I don't. I don't have dual citizenship. I'm working on that right now. But my parents are immigrants. I'd love to get dual citizenship. I'd be able to work in 13 countries in Italy, part of the European Union. But yeah, I don't have a citizenship. I don't.
Over there, if you rat, every male in your family will pay if you don't for rat. Yeah, like you just said, like
Yeah,
they'll kill your whole family. Like
they sure
and
do.
that's the difference, and that's the difference. For
There
where
was
over
there was a
go.
story you can go and check it on. There was a girl who she was a part of the Androngeta family. Her father was a big boss. And the guy she married was a boss. He would beat her and whatnot. And they had a daughter, and she just got sick of it. She went to the cops. They couldn't help her, right? And she ended up finding somebody that could help her. They put her in like the witness protection program, and she was lured back in by her own family. And the husband killed her. And then the husband went to court, admitted to it and everything, went on trial in front of people on TV and said, "Look," and then said, "Listen," with the jacket over the shoulders. He's like, "Nobody touches my daughter. I did do this." And he's just honoring what he did, and he admitted to it. These people out there don't give a fuck, dude. It's not America. It's a different life. It's a different culture. It might as well be a different planet compared to what we do out here and to what the way life is.
Now, the Andromeda and cartels, have they ever worked together, especially with the Fetty and the opiate drug demand in the US?
Good question, Dave. So the Andromeda and the cartels are very close. The Calabreses can speak Spanish because it's very similar to Italian or dialect. So what they do is they send members out there to set up import export. So they do work very closely with the cartels more than anybody. Really, the cartels don't fuck with anybody but the Andromeda, which is the Calabrese. And as far as the fentanyl and opioid, that's another good thing to good question. If you look at Europe's cocaine trade, you don't really see a lot of fentanyl. They don't play with that shit out there because a dead customer is not a good customer. That shit goes on here in America. That's the whole China. I don't even want to get into that political shit, but that's what they're doing to us out here, Dave. In Europe, hell no. Or you don't have to worry about being dosed with fentanyl. They don't cut that shit because the first shipment that comes out with fentanyl, the Calabreses won't fuck with you. And those people are generating $50 billion a year in cocaine and heroin trade. They don't want to fuck that money up for fentanyl.
That's what I'll
But
never
yeah,
understand with the
yeah,
fentanyl.
me neither.
You're
No, no.
killing out your client base, and, I lost many friends to
You
that,
can't even go
and
out and have a good time and drink a little bit and do a little coke and you gotta die. Like, no way. Absolutely not. They don't play with that shit out there, dude. No way.
exactly. I have dual because Irish, my grandmother, cost only about $250. Get it done, Mikey.
Oh, interested. I will definitely. Thank you for that. I
250
am.
bucks,
I'm
that's
going to
it.
Italy this summer. I'll be there this summer. I'm going to do it from here, but I'm going to be in Italy this summer for about 5 weeks
This is my
in
cousin.
July.
We can't even do blow anymore in the US. It's bullshit. That's like, I mean, it's the truth. Read.
Right?
No, I know it's the truth. But at least
Kind of
though, when
fucking
I
world
went,
do we live in? That's why I feel bad for, like, listen, when I was growing up, we
oh,
experimented. We did ecstasy. We did, you didn't have to worry about dying from experimenting. Now these kids, they gotta have testers, and I'm not condoning drug use. Absolutely not. Because a lot of people can become addicts like that. So I'm not condoning it, but I'm also saying shit, it's fucked up, right? This world that we live in where you can't have a little fun anymore. You just can't
no,
because it
like
could be your
if
last
I
time.
grew up, if I how I was in high school, if I had the same mentality, I wouldn't even be here right now because, oh, what's that? Boom. Or,
Yeah,
I'd sniff something and I was the type of guy that would sniff something, look at something and be like, what was that afterwards? Like I didn't give a shit. Like
yeah,
I just,
exactly.
but now look at like Michael K. Williams, one of my favorite actors from The Wire and
The
Boardwalk
Wire.
Empire,
Yeah, man.
played
Omar.
Chalky White. He was out
Yeah,
with two friends who were comics. They got themselves an 8 ball. They just wanted to freaking sniff up some blow. And
and they're
next thing
dead.
you know, boom, they're dead.
Yeah, I know some guy. I don't know him personally, but through somebody else who smoked weed that had fentanyl in it. The guy wasn't even a fucking cokehead or nothing. He just wanted to smoke a little bud, and shit had fentanyl in it, and he died. So imagine that. You know what I mean? Like it's a fucked up
And
world we
they're
live in.
pressing pills. And that's why listen, I'm not condoning drug use, but
Me
all I'm
neither.
saying is if it's not coming straight out of your pharmacy or in a prescription pad, do not
Don't
buy
fuck
it
with it.
on the street.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm
That's
about
all.
freedom of choice, man. I'm pro-choice. I'm pro. Don't get the jab if you don't want it. Get an abortion if you want it. Do what you want in life. Savor it. Do it slowly because life is all about savoring. I almost fucking punched this guy in the face today that was beeping at me behind me. I'm like, dude, calm down. We'll get there eventually. Let me figure out what the fuck I'm doing. You know how much shit I got on my mind right now, and you're beeping at me to go. Like, dude, I'm trying to figure out where I need to go
Well,
to
that's the
which
other thing
pump.
too. Yeah,
You
you
know,
don't know. That's why, like, even when I'm in a store or whatever, and I'm not going to say like, if I carry or if I can handle myself or whatever. But the bottom line is that doesn't matter. You don't know what the person next to you is going through. So
yeah,
that's why I'm always just be polite out there. You know
be
what I
kind.
mean?
Be
This
kind.
tough guy, macho shit and all that, it's gonna get you, like beeping at you. And that guy could have got hurt,
Yeah, or I could
like
have got hurt. I
or
could have
you
got
could have.
hurt. Yeah,
Yeah,
listen, I
it's
get
just
it.
over stupid shit.
Over nothing because he didn't want to wait 1 second to go
One
where he
minute,
and,
over
and
one
guess where
minute.
he was going, people? He was going to fill up his car, which he was going to be there for a few minutes anyway. And he's beeping at me. He's got something going on that's not, it's beyond me. You know what I mean? I can't do nothing about your dick size. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can I do about that?
If
But people are
if
like
they
that,
had
right?
some rules here like there, I don't feel there would be as many rats like there is.
Good point. Yeah,
Well,
man.
that's a great point because first off, they're not going after the what Mikey said, without going after the families and stuff like that. It's gonna make people definitely second guess, like, wait a minute, if I cooperate, they're gonna kill my freaking mother, my father, they're gonna come, you know what I
You're
mean?
right. The
That's gonna
girl, like
weigh out.
I told you the girl, her own family lured her back in. They don't care, dude. They're not. It's just a way of life, man. You're not gonna change, a couple few hundred years of tradition. It's just how it is. It's embedded, and people didn't really realize how organized the Calabrese were until think about 2008. They got them under investigation. There's a place called Pulci in Italy. It's in Calabria. It's near where my family's from. It's this monastery that caters to traditional processions every year where the Madonna comes down, and it's a very spiritual place for the Andromeda. And they actually caught them all on film that they have a commission, that they didn't realize that there was an actual commission that controls the Calabrians. They just thought they were rural, everybody out for themselves, clans, but they're very organized out there. They're very powerful clans. They unite, and they're all about money. They're all about selling coke, arms. They're very bad people, very vicious and nasty people.
I was the guy behind you. I was damn near late for work because of you. No,
you know.
that's my cousin. That's my cousin. It's
Don't beat me
okay.
up.
No, listen, it totally makes sense why the cartels in Dragna would cooperate regarding the sale and distribution of Fendi. Too much money not to be made. Whoever
Yeah,
controls the supply controls the price.
absolutely, absolutely, Dave. You're damn right, bro. And that's how it is, man. A dead customer is not a good customer. I even think the cartel in America at one point sent a bulletin out to, like, listen, whoever's caught cutting their product with fentanyl is gonna die. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
Very different times nowadays. It's crazy. Yeah, and you know what though? That's why, like, so I'm going out though to Canada in May with my good friend Bobby Bright, and I always thought it was because of Rico why it was different though out there in Canada. But he's like, well, then we still have gangsterism law, and we still have, you murder someone that's 25 to life. So
but there's no Rico. That's the thing. There's no
I
Rico
know
out there.
there's no Rico,
Yeah.
but you still don't get though crazy time out there and stuff like that. That's what
Oh,
he
of
was saying.
course.
But so I like when I found that out, because at first I was just like, oh, but it's Rico. But then I don't know, man, what happened then around here because I always thought it was just Rico. But the way after Bobby explained it to me, it's just completely though different because uh there's a I don't know if you know what the gangsterism though law is though, like where it is sort of like a RICO though type statute law in Canada. And there's also if you murder someone, you're still going away for 25 to life. So and they're still living out there like cowboys, like it was, where there was mob hits around here in the 70s, 80s, 90s,
Well,
even before that, 20s,
that's the
30s, 40s.
Andronga. That's the Andronga. That's the Calabreses. So in Toronto and Canada, it's a lot of those guys are Calabreses, man. When I
Yeah.
went to Toronto, 20 years ago for work, and they pronounced my name properly. I met a bunch of bellhops out there that were from Calabria that we got along very well. And as soon as I touched down, I was the man out there. I was supplying everybody in my company with any kind of party favors that they wanted because they didn't trust anybody. And I was the man when I went to Toronto because I was Calabrese. Those guys took over. Calabrese's fucking run Canada now, dude. You know what I mean? There was a big war out there, and they're in control now, man.
Yeah. No, they absolutely no are. Oh, so that was you holding me up. Just kidding. Oh, he's going back to the car again. My friends. Yes, I saw that. They all came together in that town. Yeah. And they're the ones out in Canada, though, that are, you know, running it. Like, like you just said, they're the ones that, they're all over Canada now,
Yeah, when I was actually in Calabria not even a few years ago, about 2016, 2017. And while I was there, somebody was like, yeah, somebody just got murdered from this town that was in Toronto, in Canada. He's from the town that my parents are from. And they were like, yeah, I get, there's a war going on out there. At the time, it was like 2016, I want to say. And a guy from the town was murdered in Canada. Yeah, man. There's
So
a bunch of people.
when did your parents then come to America?
So my dad came over with his family in the early 60s. And then he stood here for about 6 or 7 years, then went back to his hometown, saw my mom, married her 3 days later, and then she came back in the late 60s with him. And then they were here up until 2014, so my dad passed away. And then my mom, ended up going back to Italy when we buried him there, and she stood there. And she's been there ever since, and she's moved on, and she lives out there. She's always wanted to go back to. My mom never wanted to come to America. She was now I don't want to say she was forced, but when my grandfather went to jail, they had my grandma had to go to work. She had to go pick olives. So who was going to watch my mom? They sent her to like a monastery to stay with nuns. My mom was trying to get the fuck out of there. So the time she was 17 and my dad came back to Italy and saw her, he was like, I want to marry that woman. So he had literally had to go to the Monsignor in the town to ask for her permission because my grandfather was in jail. The Monsignor goes, absolutely, you're going to take her to America? My mom was like, anything. Just get me the fuck out of this place. And she took off to America. Less than a year later, she was 18 and she left to America. They came over on the Queen, the Carnival. They came on a cruise ship called the Queen. I don't know if you guys know about that. And I have pictures, and my dad brought her over, and they, and the love grew, I guess, right? Because they didn't know each other. It was like The Godfather. He saw her like Apollonia, and 3 days later they were married. And then 1 year later, when she turned 18, because she was still 17, she came to America, and they were here ever since.
Oh wow, man! I never even knew that. I mean, because
Yeah,
I talked to you a lot, though, and but you never brought that up. No shit.
yeah. My parents were arranged, and they were together for 50 years till my dad died.
So okay, so even though I don't want to get too personal, though, but even though like your dad, she's like, yeah, just to get me out of here, though. But I mean, they did no fall in love.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm just being honest. That's what that's what it was. She didn't know my dad. They were
Yeah,
arranged. Did Apollonia know Michael? Apollonia didn't know him. She just wanted to get the hell out of that town, and that's how they all were. And then she eventually grew love for my father and fell in love with him and had, my siblings, and they had a great life together. They owned a business, and they stood in America, the land of opportunity, the American dream. And they did it, because in Calabria they were very poor. My father's family was very poor. It was like 14 of them. They had to leave there. It was during World War II, and there was nothing out there. There's still really nothing out there. You know what I mean? Like there's no economy where we're from. If you're not, those guys are making $20 a fucking day. You know what I mean? That's all they're making, 20 euros a day out there. Unless you got money or you're a cop, your family comes from money, you're descendants of counts and fucking noble families, or you're in the mafia and you're the descendant of mafia families. Those are the
yeah. So
people
I
that,
was
that
gonna
thrive
say,
out
I
there.
could see why a lot of people would choose though to go though that route out there, and
Yeah.
and around here in the neighborhoods and stuff like that. But I say around here, I mean just America in general. Depending on what neighborhood you're born in, it's a product of your environment. Like they used to always say in New York City, you're either going to become a priest, firefighter, cop, or gangster.
Mhm.
Depending on, like
It's
a
the same shit.
Canarsie, Brooklyn, stuff like that. But over there, um, and some are just born into it. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're like basically if my father though was in the mafia or head of a family or whatever, and I was born, then he is bringing me up to
Yeah.
be in that life.
I'll tell you a story. So when I spent a lot of summers in Italy, there was a family that lived next door to my grandma, and one of the sons, they were not in the mafia, but one of the sons took a liking to one of the daughters of a very powerful Andromeda boss, and they became boyfriend and girlfriend, and they were going to get married, and there was a war going on, and he got caught in that war and got killed. That's it. He wasn't a mafia. He was being nurtured and he was being groomed, and he didn't do anything. The guy didn't kill anybody, but he was caught in a mafia feud where these people came dressed as cops and they fucking shot everybody that was in front of them. They didn't care if there was a baby there, they would have shot the baby. They were in the middle
But
of a war.
what you and MR1 though said though, I mean it's spot on. Like with the cooperation though, with I mean people are gonna absolutely second guess, doing that when they know that they're coming after family. I mean that's
Oh
just
yeah.
because
Yeah.
if they're going to cooperate and they just know, oh well, excuse me,
Have, have you ever
they don't
seen
go.
Loomis?
Go
Have
ahead.
you ever seen the movie We Own the Night with Mark Wahlberg and Joaquin Phoenix about the Russians
Yes, he
in
owns the nightclubs and stuff like that, and yeah,
Did you see the movie when they arrested everybody, when they threw the black tar in their mouth? What did the Russian tell him? He goes, if you talk, we'll kill your family, right? And what did
yeah,
he do in the jail, that guy? He slit his own throat in the jail.
yeah,
If you remember, he slit his
yeah,
own throat.
yeah.
That's what it is, brother. You know what I mean? That's what it is. They're scared. They fear. They fear. Once they're caught, they'll go to jail and they'll do the time. I would too, man. I wouldn't want my family getting killed. So it's the ultimate
No, I
bargaining
think a
chip.
lot of people though. That's the difference. That's what you wouldn't see as much of that around you though. If it was like, if I'm not saying, oh yeah, it's a great thing or glamorizing it or nothing, but I mean, it definitely makes you think though more. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
like because out of here it's just like a get out of jail free card and your family doesn't get touched, you
Because of the
know?
code. There's a different code out here, and the code is what weakened the American Cosa Nostra. Even though it's a good code, I wouldn't want innocent people getting killed. But unfortunately, if you're talking about the durability of organized crime, that's where it stems from people holding these traditions and holding people accountable for their actions, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, man, you know your stuff over there, man. When are you going back over next?
I'll be out there in the middle of the summer. I'm gonna go spend a few weeks out there. Bring my son for the first time so he can visit my father's gravesite and see his grandma. He hasn't seen his grandma in a few years, and meet some of his extended family in Italy. Um, and try to teach him a little bit of Italian too while we're at it. You
Yeah,
know.
there you go, right? I know. I can't wait to go out to I'll be in Canada in May for a few weeks. I can't wait to go out there and because Bobby's gonna take me to like, all the old spots though where him and his buddy Dean though around and they were around the well, especially his friend Dean was around Rizzuto and stuff like that. And different atmosphere than how it is here now because the mob I hear around here now it's like when you get shelved it's more like not even shelved like they don't kill they just put you
Yeah, they,
like
they they ostracize you. Yeah, you can't earn. You can't. You're
yeah
not a part of the cool club. It's like high school, right? You do something wrong, you're not a part of the popular crowd anymore. That shit's fucking. People commit suicide over that shit. But yeah, I mean, what are they gonna do? They have no choice. What can they do?
no I know it's just crazy though I mean just how much though it just changed like told like after Gotti well then I mean the real last one though is like Messina after though he though went then well 2013 is like when the shooting really stopped like 2013, I'd say, is when the shooting stopped, for
What
what
was the
I
last?
know from
Yeah, the
talking to
last shooting. The last shooting in Queens was Gene Borello, right? I think that was the last shooting on record was Gene Borello. He was the last person to shoot somebody in Queens. Like they just don't do this shit anymore, dude. It doesn't happen. You can't. What are you gonna do, man? There's too much technology. They're not stupid. They don't want to get caught. You know.
yeah, yeah, but completely different than over here. Absolutely, 100%.
In 10, 20 years, the Corleone family is gonna be completely legitimate, Louis.
Let me see.
Where's that fucking money got? It's gone. I have a fucking tray in there.
Yeah, did you see? I sent that to you.
I was fucking dying, dude. Love
Yeah,
that
I had
shit.
to send that to you, though, because that's the other episode too. I still have to finish though the Soprano though one though that we did together though, which is great.
That's right, dude. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I was editing it though, and it's like remember encyclopedia on the
I'm
cutbacks.
thinking. I
But
gotta sit on phone books.
it was like we did a show on like dissecting the Sopranos, though, like certain like dissecting characters and stuff like that. It was fun, it was just a good old fun show.
Loomis,
And
I was blessed with eyebrows, not height. What do you want me to do?
well, no, what are you? What are you 5'1"?
That's funny, man. You should go to open mic and then close with that joke. That's a good one, dude.
I
No.
used to do that, I used to do stand up years years ago. I swear to God, years ago.
No, yeah, you were telling me that's fun. That's another art form that I love. I love
Oh,
comedy, man.
that's listen, because like I was on stage many times with music and stuff like that, and yeah, I remember my first music show. I was nervous. It was back in 2004, and I was very nervous and stuff. But you can hide behind your instrument or whatever. But when you're up there just holding a microphone and like you see like all day you're thinking of like what you're going to talk about, and then like you deliver something and nobody laughs.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
tough.
it's yeah
They say it
yeah
takes 10 years to build that up to whatever that is to the point where you can deliver and all that. It takes at least 10 years, which is crazy. But yeah, it's an art form like anything else, but it's a real complex art form. But I
yeah.
love
It's
comedy.
It's tough. I always wonder, like, I always because people would be like, "What would be tough for being in a band on stage or whatever?" I go, "No." The other question is lead singer
Ugh,
or that, but the difference is lead singer. Um, I think stand-up comedy, you don't have the protection of the other instruments around you
you don't.
and this and that, or the sound of the music. It is just you. You're the music. You got to stay in that flow. And comedy's
Yeah.
timing. And
Yeah, because Richie can always go to a solo, right? You know what I mean? They could always go to a solo while you catch your breath. But in comedy, it's all you, bro. It's all or nothing, do or die.
Ron, what's going on? Great to see you, my man, Ron Archer.
What's up, Ron?
Ron popped in though when I was talking to the Bobby. Ron, I believe, is from out in where we were just talking about Canada. Well, actually, we were talking about over in Italy. Mikey here is very well versed on how it all goes down over there, how it's completely different than it is in America, and how a lot of people will cooperate around here because of the simple fact that families don't get touched. But over there, your family's getting killed if you cooperate. So that's why there's less of that going on.
Yeah, the
Over
goldfish, like you said, the goldfish, the kids, the dog, everybody dying.
the
You
goldfish,
know.
everything, they're all going 100%, my man. Well, tomorrow is I'll probably set it as a premiere.
Okay.
Um, and that'll be at 3 p.m. And where is it at? There's it at. Oh yeah, I just want to let everyone else know too. Stay tuned. No, Bobby Bright Hardline Part Two. I know there's a Part Two up, but that was the live version. We're gonna have a pre-recorded though version though that will also though be dropping soon. But before that though, we have yeah, right here, and it's quite a story with your family. So this is very interesting, and I was blown away by it when I was editing it today. And we talk about from Bon Jovi to freaking Eminem to freaking Sabbath to Metallica to everyone. And Mikey, actually, you'll see tomorrow though. There's a little change of music history, which I like in that though, where they say a certain point where the rest stop. You know what I'm talking about, and that'll be though for though tomorrow. And where are we at? We're at an hour and 12 minutes. Mikey, I know you said no that you could probably do like an hour or so. We're over an hour. So what's up? You still wanted to go for a little bit or
Yeah, we can go for a little bit more. Absolutely. I'm good, man. I don't care. Let's do it.
all right. Well, hold on one second. All right, so you were going over there. What was the first time you were over there in Italy, like in
In
Italy?
Italy, I wasn't even a year old, man. My mom took me at I just turned a year and I took my first steps in Italy. I have pictures when I was a kid. And I pretty much went every year after that. My parents
I
owned a
grew up.
restaurant and I was the youngest of four. So every summer they didn't really know what to do with me because there wasn't school. And my sister really hated Italy and we were similar in age. So they would just send me to Italy because I loved it. So I would go with family members, I would get dropped off, and then I would come back with a different family member. So I spent pretty much every summer in Italy, you know.
We got our fair share of doucherettes up here too,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
absolutely, Ron. We sure do. We
Well,
sure
no,
do.
Ron, no, sir, no, he's in Canada.
Yeah, yeah, no, I bet you do up there too. Yeah, no, yeah, again, Ron, it's a total disconnect from overseas. You know, you can't say they're Americanized, right? Because it's Canada, but they're North Americanized. It's different.
So yeah, but I mean, like you were just saying, the Calgary, like how they run everything over there. I mean, our families in trouble in Canada?
I don't know too much about the Canadians. I know what I hear. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I'm like I'm a student of it now through like Bobby and stuff like that. I'm gonna
yeah,
be in Ron. I'm gonna be out there, my man, in May. Just so you know, gonna be in Canada
yeah.
in May.
I'd like to know more about it because I really don't know. I know of it, of what I was told, but I don't know too much about it. You know what I mean? Just from watching what you watch, documentaries and shit, and
No, yeah.
reading
Well, I just
stories
been learning from Bobby
from
and
Bobby.
from
Okay,
people. And there's a great channel out there, Crafty. I always forget though the rest of the name of it. It's Crafty Canadian Crime, I believe, though. But that's a good YouTube channel that breaks down a lot of stuff. And he's just the way he does it is fantastic, and it's a great channel. But yeah, I'm more of just like recently just became like a student of it through Bobby Bright and learning. Obviously, I always heard of like the name over in America. You hear that the most popular name is Rizzuto. Like
yeah,
if you never looked into it, that's the name you heard, and that's
of
probably
course.
because of the three capos with the bananas,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
killing, and which was portrayed in
And Donnie Brasco.
which isn't the way though how it went down, but
No, 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 not at
um
all.
yeah, like the FBI agent, like is like Joe Pistow would really be cutting up a body.
No,
Come on.
no,
But it's a movie. I
it's a
tell
movie.
everyone, Mikey, I tell everyone anymore but movies. So, like, if you're gonna like, well, for even like The Sopranos, like if you're gonna watch it, and uh, like Michael Francis at first though is he has agreed what he said. Oh, I was watching like Tulsa King. You can't hit a made guy like that and stuff like that. But then it's like when you're watching movies and shows like that, you gotta just love him for the artistic. Like, don't nitpick what the mob would really do and like wouldn't do. Just try to fall into the story. But
Yeah,
documentaries, you hope that they really are trying to get truthful. You
of
know what I'm
course,
saying?
man. Yeah, just enjoy what it is.
I hope to see you around the hood with Bobby. I'm sure he will take you on a tour. Absolutely, Ron. Absolutely. And I'll be getting some footage out there and stuff like that. But with me, nothing current. I only stay with history and stuff that's on the records. I never want to get anyone jammed up or anything like that. That's why even on this channel, anything if that's current or anything like that, I don't even like talking about because why? Me and NYC Crime Spot run the other day, and he was talking about a certain mob type of guy reporter, and the way he was breaking it down, he's like congratulating him, like for like, oh, congratulations to so and so for being a captain and la di da da da. But he talks about current stuff like constantly, and like now this guy's the captain of this, and I'm like, what are you
Yeah,
doing, man? Like,
that's
what are you
wild.
doing?
That's wild work right there, dude. That's
Yeah, what are you
diabolical.
doing?
Yeah, no. I'll tell
Like,
you a cool
yeah, you
story.
got a big following,
I,
but
I can tell you a cool story. When I was out in Calabria back in 2014, my dad passed away, and he wanted to be buried in Italy. So we actually had it's on YouTube. I'll send it to you. It's a crazy funeral with the band and everything. But while I was out there, they have traditional festivals every year, which are they take the Virgin Mary out of her case in they do it all over Southern Italy, and they do a procession. You have Saint Gennaro, Naples, but there was this particular procession where we're from that became a propaganda driven in the southern Italy. It was on the news and everything, where the Pope came out before the summer and said, we don't promote mafia, yada yada. And then a month later in July, while I was there was a procession that happens every year, and they tried to say that we paid tribute to the local mafia family. Now, the Virgin Mary's been taking the same route that she's been taking for the past 50 years in that town. But the local police blamed us for going towards where the mafia don was and paying tribute by bowing her. First of all, if you bow her, she would fall over. She's like 2 tons. So it's all bullshit. It was all propaganda. But there started to be all these copycats that would happen all around southern Italy after this happened. You can look this up on Google. This was in 2014, where they said that a procession paid homage to the local mafia don. I was actually in that specific procession carrying the Virgin Mary at the time. So I was a part of history out there, and I just saw propaganda unfold, and it was all bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't
oh, well,
real.
that's well,
It
yeah,
was,
welcome to
you
the
know,
yeah.
it was
So,
crazy.
especially the news today, all of it, like there's so much propaganda and everything. Though, yet I don't even watch the news anymore. You don't even know what to believe.
They tried to interview me too. I was in there, and the lady came up to me, and she goes, "Scusi, yada yada." I was like, "No, I'm American." I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not talking to you, lady. You fucking crazy. When you leave
Yeah,
here, I gotta stay here in this town. I'm not talking to you." But the second I said English, and she just turned around and walked away. I was like, "No, I'm American. I'm not talking to you." But they were actually coming around trying to talk, and it was crazy. It was this
yeah, like,
whole.
but who's gonna want to talk to them though? Especially even the cops though, like they wear a mask when they arrest certain individuals, like well, cartels in Mexico and stuff like that. I mean, even the police wear a mask. I mean, they're afraid.
That's what they do in Calabria. I was scared, dude. I
Yeah,
was sleeping with my sneakers on at the time because you hear all these fucking stories. People were like, "Oh, they're going to arrest you," and you're a part of the procession. Because a lot of the processions, people that are holding the Virgin Mary, a lot of those kids are the sons of the mafia. That's who
yeah.
holds the Virgin Mary, as well as regular civilians. And I was amongst those regular civilians holding her. But if you look around you, these are all mafia kids around you. So it was crazy, and I was a little petrified. I'm not gonna lie. I even made some calls back home. I'm like, damn, I should get the fuck out of here. I was telling my mom. She was like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's all bullshit. And she was right. And the people around there were just fucking with me. They would drive around and go like that to me. And don't wear shorts. Don't wear I malandrini. They don't wear shorts. They used to tell me, don't put no shorts on. Cover those legs. They used to tell me.
In
Oh,
Hispanic culture, we do a
culture.
similar procession with the Virgin Mary and funerals. In
Dave,
his,
Dave, it's all the same, brother, man. We're all Italy was the first Latin settlement. We're all Latin. We're all Latin. We all have a Latin heart. We all come from the Spanish influence. So I believe you. You do, as well as your cemeteries. They're similar to our cemeteries. Like the cemeteries in New Orleans, they're very similar to our cemeteries. They're buried above ground. Little capelas above ground and mausoleums, and very rare people are buried in the ground out there. If they are, they don't have any money. You know what I mean? They're just normal people. In Italy, my father's in a literal little house. It's small, and he's buried in there. And then there's another capsule under for my mom eventually too, 100 years from now. But yeah, the Hispanic culture is very similar. Similar to the Italians. Even our language is very similar, Dave. I grew up in Perth Amboy. Many Puerto Rican friends growing up, and we understood each other. I can understand Puerto Rican Spanish dialect as well as I could in my own. So I get it. We're very similar, in that
Yeah, the
sense.
language is close though. Like, you know what
It's
I'm
super
saying?
similar. Yeah,
It's
not the
very
same, but
similar.
it's very similar.
Yeah, yeah. To the point where, like, you could understand. So if someone's coming at you and talking Spanish, you can
Yeah,
pretty much pick up
I
what
can
they're.
pick it up. This is what makes the Andromeda so good with the cartels is they can
Yeah,
go to Mexico and communicate with them, and they speak it very well. They speak Spanish very well. These Calabreses. But yeah, most of my family can speak Spanish. My brother Tony can speak Spanish fluent. My father was able to speak it. Uncles, yeah, I can even understand it a little bit and speak it a little bit myself. More of the dialect, the Boricua. I can speak that a little bit. I grew up with a lot of my best friends growing up were Puerto Rican, man. A lot of them.
nice. And you go out since you were born. You were out there every year. You said, right?
Every year, dude. I spent every summer as a kid in Italy. Most of my summers, I could tell you, I can count more the summers I spent in Jersey than I did out there. If I tell you how many times I went to Italy, you wouldn't even believe me, bro. I probably went there more. I'm 44 years old in June, and I've been to Italy close to 27 times in
We're like the
44
same
years.
exact age. I'm 44 in May. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been there half my life. So if you tally up all the time I spent there, I spent close to 10 years in Italy. All the months that you gather them and add them together, I've spent close to a decade in Italy, which is wild.
Or do you like it better over there or here?
I'm a Jersey boy, so I do like it better here. But if I did have a private income and I was more well off, I'd probably live over there, to be honest with you, because you have more of the way of life. That's life out there, right? It's just there's no money. There's no way to make money out there. But the food is better, the lifestyle is better, the daily siestas, the mountain life, the air is different, the water is natural, artesian, organic water, if you will, through the fucking through the stones and everything, stone
Yeah.
water. You live longer, you're more happier. The life is better out there. So I would live out there if I had money and I had a private income. But I do miss Jersey. I'm gonna be honest with you, Loomis. When I'm out there, um, I remember one time I spent like 10 months out there when my dad died. And the second I landed in JFK and I'm standing in line in customs, I hear the NFL theme song.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm home. I'm fucking
Yeah.
home because I was just tired of hearing the shit out there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm an American, dude. I'm an American at heart. I
Yeah.
grew up
Home's
out
home.
here.
Yeah.
It would be tough for me to live out there. If I had to, I would. I'd retire out there, but I love America. I'm an American Jersey boy. I love the seasons. Um, yeah. Sorry, I do.
Well, I don't know why you got to apologize, but yeah, no, I'm with you. We like what we like, my man, right?
I'm sorry.
Let
Oh, you can't help me? I'm sorry.
me see something real quick. Guys, don't forget to check out though Mikey at Capo Rise to Power on Amazon Prime now streaming.
It's my man Jimmy. Shout outs to
Yeah,
Jimmy, man. Jimmy's a good dude.
yeah, Jimmy is a good dude. He absolutely is.
That's a rare
100%.
egg.
Yeah, he is. He really is. Oh yeah, R.I.P. though to Cell and Rap, who was
Yes. I
uh
remember him.
yeah, to five families though right here who wrote though
Very
this book.
knowledgeable in the mafia.
Yeah, he just passed away though, so big R.I.P. though to him. Uh
Buon anima. Buon anima.
yeah, I know, like he knew. I mean, he knew his stuff, man. And I mean, that book right there, Five Families. I mean, that's like the encyclopedia on like a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of people say, in this genre on the YouTubes, like they say, oh, a lot of it's inaccurate, this and that and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, the guy's very respected for what he has done, and I don't know what inaccuracies that he's written about, but whatever. R.I.P. to Selwyn Rab, and thank you for all the research and everything that you have done because that shit's not easy. He's even respected though amongst certain mobs. But yeah, bro, our cultures are very similar in language. Yes. Hey, what's up, Rubes? OG Ruby in the house. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Hit that like button, subscribe, guys. Tomorrow we got an episode going though with Mikey, 3 p.m. Eastern. That will be dropping. Now that's a pre-recorded, so it's actually though like the first though music though one though, which I'm excited though about. And I'm good, and you? I'm doing real good. I'm just a little tired though, just from dude. Like when you ever wonder, I used to always be like, I don't mind driving. It's just sitting down. But then, like when you're done though, like after a long trip of driving, though, you're exhausted because like your
Yeah,
brain without
your
you ever
mental.
like, oh, for instance, let's say you're on mile marker 100. I'm just making something up, right? You ever find yourself like just like maybe you start daydreaming and you're like a half hour later, you're like, whoa, I wasn't even paying attention. How am I right here? Like,
Mhm.
but you really are like your brain just like on autopilot. And when you're editing and stuff like that, well,
It's
you can't
exhausting.
really daydream during that, but that shit wipes you, man. It
Yeah,
wipes you.
it does,
Yep.
man. Listen, I come from doing manual labor where I'm tired, and then not doing manual labor and just organizing, project managing, and using my brain, and I'm just as tired. Like at
Oh
the end of
man,
the day,
yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I'm wiped out. And it's like, wait a minute, I didn't lift anything. Why am I so tired? And it's just from using your fucking head all day. You're trying to pre-plan everything and come
Well,
up with
yesterday,
solutions.
I only did like 30, like up to 35 minutes though of the show. Yeah, but that alone was like almost like 4 to 5 hours. And then today I put in like a hard, like just like 8 hours, like because it's just like the way I like how you have to clip stuff and this and that. And even though you're all comfy, you could become the most comfortable chair in the world. It wipes you. And I'm from local 130 though, and I've done labor's union, and I'm telling you though that mental type labor stuff, man. I mean, it drains you. It absolutely though drains you. Just because you're not doing something physical, that don't mean shit. I mean, it drains you. But subscribe up though, folks. And yeah, I'm probably gonna go relax though soon, Mike, and lay around to watch some movies or whatever. If that's all right though with you.
Yeah, man. I'm good, brother, man. I'm good, man. I'm excited about this episode tomorrow. I want everybody to check it out. You're gonna get some knowledge on Bon Jovi and where he comes from. He's from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Yeah, he moved to Saraville. You guys all hear about Saraville, New Jersey, but you don't talk about Perth Amboy, man.
But
And
it's not though just getting knowledge on him. It's the fact that there's your mom and dad with Sam
yeah,
Kennison.
yeah,
There's your Ma's with Richie Sambora. Like there you are with him right there. And there's a
absolutely.
whole like he was
Yeah,
very, very tight with them. And
absolutely. If I see John, listen. I haven't seen John in years, and I get it. But if he saw me to this day and I said, John, it's Mike Fazzolari because he hasn't seen me in a long time, he'll probably shed a tear. Um, John told me at the Philadelphia Spectrum, and I want to say it was 1985 or 86 at the Philadelphia Spectrum where they played with Cinderella. Cinderella was Cinderella. He was headliner, but Cinderella was
yeah,
on there. And
until
Skid
it,
Row.
yeah, on Skid Row.
Yeah, no, it was with Skid Row, the band Skid Row with Sebastian Bach. They came backstage when they were done, and John looked at me and he goes, "You're gonna be a fucking star one day, man." He said, "Mikey, you're gonna be a star one day." I'm
Nice.
not, but I'm a star in my own mind. I'm a
Yeah,
star.
I'm not. No, I wasn't laughing at you're not, but I was laughing at the way you said it. You're like, I'm not.
But
But let's not forget though, folks, out of 3,000 no people, Mikey made it to like the top three of being young C in a Bronx Tale.
I'm the best that never made it, bro. I'm the best that never did it.
Dude, 3,000 people though, man, and you come in that, come on, you got to be a little proud of yourself. That's
I am, man. I just wish that I stuck with it stronger because I'm not at where I'm supposed to be because I did give up for a little bit. You know what I mean? I went back and I kind of you gotta believe in yourself, right? You gotta
yeah,
believe in yourself. That shit
yeah.
that we were talking about earlier about if I don't believe it, nobody does. And there was a small time in my life where I didn't believe it. I listened to everybody around me, and I was real insecure, and I got into substances, and I just fucking just checked out. But now I'm back, and the
Little
second season of
Colosio, yeah.
Capo, we're gonna film second season of Capo, and we're gonna get it in, baby. Yeah, man, little Calogero, absolutely. That's what they used
See,
to call me, baby Calogero.
you look just like him too. Like with this episode tomorrow, where you have on though the Banjo. That I'm just saying though, like you look just like him.
Thank you, man.
So now I see though, like how you were. I mean, it's crazy. Like I mean, just like him. Like someone sent me a picture and said like this was little C, blah blah blah, and it was you. I would just be like, oh yeah, it is. Like like without it's because there's a lot of similarities. I mean, meaning
Yes.
like back when you were at that age, without a
I
doubt.
actually, believe it or not, I did my gene, what do you call it, ancestry, or the swab, and it turns out I'm like 90% Southern Italian, Calabrese, Sicilian, but I'm also Middle Eastern, which was big, I guess. I don't know too much about history, but apparently the Middle Eastern people conquered Sicily and the Moors and all that bullshit, and the whole True Romance and the Sicilians were spawned by such and such. But yeah, I did a genealogical test, and it came out that I'm 10% Middle Eastern. So I guess that's where all the dark features come from, the black eyebrows, the black hair, and all that shit. But there goes Johnny Boy.
No, but I mean, I'm saying though, a little C though. I mean, come on, man, you could
Yeah,
see
man.
it. You could see it. But I mean, even the younger one though, with the bandana eyes looking, I was like, yeah, you could definitely though see it
That's my
with how.
portfolio. That was part of I took pictures for acting when I was a kid, and that's one of the pictures that I took with different looks, the tough kid. That was I was in this book called Faces International, where back in the day they would con people to do things, right? I think my parents spent crazy amount of money, which they got back because I was a working actor when I was a kid. Like
Yeah,
I did extra work. I made a lot of fucking money when I was a kid, so they made it back. But they put me in this book called Faces International, where you would
yeah,
it was before internet, where you would look through it, and I was actually showcased in that, and one of those pictures that you saw was in that. But
yeah. And then you sent me though the. I was in such a hurry, man. Before, remember, I was like 8 or 7:30, but because I was running around, but we had to do it at 7:30, so I didn't have time though to get it
I
up though.
sent you the pictures of the Cosby Show with Ray Romano. Did you see that one too? That was pretty wild. You know what's crazy? I was like, so I was on the
Oh yeah,
Cosby
that's
Show.
nuts though, man. So then, yeah, wait. So you're, yeah. So you're an extra there. There's Ray Romano,
That's
right?
me right there in the back with my arms crossed. That's Ray Romano. And look who's sitting on the stage. That's fucking Dominic Gianesi, Uncle Junior from The Sopranos. And at the time, he wasn't, this is 1997. I think he did the movie Gotti, and he
Yeah,
did
he
The
did.
Godfather.
He did. Yeah.
He did Godfather, but again, I'm sure I remembered him, but it's one of those things that didn't register until I watched it tonight. And I was with my wife and we're watching. And I'm like, holy shit, it's fucking Uncle Junior. And she's like laughing. She's like, you don't remember him? I'm like, I don't. But anyway, that episode was the new Cosby Show.
Oh
And
yeah.
that was when Ray
And I
Romano
didn't even
was
go
on.
all the way over there. There's Bill right there.
That's Bill. I talked to Bill Cosby for a while I was there. He actually was a real nice guy, believe it or not.
Oh yeah. Was he? Was he?
He was. I think he drugged me. I'm pretty sure. My anus really hurt the next day for some reason.
Oh God, stop it. There's Uncle June on the stage.
Yeah, that's him, dude. It's
And there
wild,
you
right,
are
dude? Like
back there, right?
fucking crazy, dude. But I remember my dad, he brought me there and he goes, and that was taped in front of a live studio audience. He goes, the Ray Romano's father, he goes, that's the guy from the Frankenstein. He was telling me that's the guy who played Frankenstein. And the other guy, he played Johnny O in The Godfather, my dad was telling me at the time. Now that I remember it. But didn't really realize till I watched it tonight, and I haven't seen it in fucking 30 years, whatever that is, 25 years. Longer than that,
Yeah, I'm gonna
almost
put a
30
little
years
clip.
ago.
I'm gonna put a little clip of it up on Instagram when I get off though, and then pack it in and watch a movie. And I've been like ever since I came back to meaning consistently with this and editing or whatever. Like it's like I need one of those just shut everything off and do movie or binge watch a TV series or something tonight until tomorrow. Right back at it. There's a middleweight. Dave, there's a Middle Eastern influence in the Hispanic culture as well. Shirt in Spanish is camisa,
Camisa.
and
Yeah, man.
shirt in Arabic is gamas or
That's
gamma. How do you
fucking
say it?
interesting, Dave. That's interesting, brother, because yeah, it is camisa in Italian and in dialect too as well. Yeah, man. A lot of shit, dude. Solamente. There's so many words that are similar, Dave. It's crazy. Like I said, I grew up with a lot of Boricuas. My nephews are Puerto Rican. Tony's wife is Puerto Rican. I love Puerto Ricans, man. The culture, the food, everything. My favorite food is Puerto Rican food, believe it or not, man. I like it more than Italian food.
That's good food. Back to A Bronx Tale. I wonder Carmine from 187 is the same character Joe Pesci played.
Good question, OG. I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. I don't know. That's a question
187
for
on a
Des.
motherfucking cop dick, and you don't stop because it's 187 on a motherfucking cop. No, the old school hip hop.
Snoop Dogg and Dre, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre.
Oh yeah, but even remember Craig Mack kicking new flavor in your ear.
You're talking to a student of hip hop. I know all hip hop. I love hip hop.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty well versed in like the old. Yeah, remember Tone Loc?
Of course, man. Wild thing.
What about Little Vicious?
Little Vicious. I'm de la freak. Of course, man. You kidding me?
Yeah, my favorite of all time for me is Mobb Deep, though. I love Mobb
me
Deep.
too, dude. I love fucking Prodigy. Prodigy's the best.
Their beats and everything are fantastic.
Yeah, man. That's Havoc. Havoc is the main producer. Yeah. Totally, man. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation we can get into.
God, no, I know. I agree. We can't forget a bunch of stuff, as you know. But listen, folks, tomorrow, check us out, 3 p.m. Eastern. Mikey Faz will be on. It's not a live, it's a pre-recorded episode, but I think I'm going to set it up as a premiere in the live chat. So I'll be there saying hellos and stuff. And I grew up listening to Tupac and Biggie. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were when Juicy came out and Juicy is the son, no, but wait, am I wrong, Mike?
Juicy was the song. It was the main single off of his Ready to Die album, but that album
Ready to Die. And then what was the double album, Life After Death?
Life After Death, which basically changed the face of hip hop at the time.
Tupac. I still have the single cassette, Dear Mama.
Yeah, man, Dear Mama. All Eyes on Me. Tupac was great too. You know, it was definitely great. Great songwriter.
NWA and Too Short back in the day.
Man.
That beat by Too Short. I was calling Hot 97, requested one more. Yeah, Biggie, give me.
There was something called the jukebox in Jersey and New York area where you would call up and request a song. You had to pay for it. You would call up and pay with a credit card, and you can request a song. You know, the town where I'm from in Perth Amboy, there was actually a very famous white boy rapper. His name was Milkbone. And Eminem dissed him on his first album. He goes, "I'm nicer than Pete, but I'm on a search to crush a milk bone. I'm everlasting. I melt vanilla ice like silicone." It was on Just Don't Give a Fuck. That guy's from Perth Amboy. His name is Tommy. He's a gifted rapper. His name was Milkbone. And I remember when his video came out on a jukebox, we were calling all day to request it because he even said Perth Amboy on his album. You know, he was shouting out Perth Amboy, and he was very, very big at the time. You know, local rapper. We were real proud of him. Shout outs to Milkbone, Tommy. Good shit, brother.
OG wrote with that. Yeah, no, that album's freaking great. That's from Biggie, right? Or was it Biggie? Or when they say the phone number on he gets the call, and I love the little acting, like little things they would throw on those albums. And then all
the skit and the intros, yeah. I don't remember what she's talking about though. I gotta be honest with you. I don't.
I think though it was something with Biggie. I could be wrong. But
I was also a big Onyx fan too. Onyx, Sticky Fingers.
Oh no, she said Hot 97 phone number.
Phone number.
I was thinking though about something else though when he gets a call and he's like, oh my god, I forget.
I went on an audition once in New York, and I fucking went into an elevator, and Sticky Fingers was in the elevator, and I got his autograph. They were just working on the second album. You know Sticky Fingers from Onyx, right?
Yeah, I have Onyx. What do you call it? I have so my brother was crazy with dude, I have remember even Outkast Southern Playalistic, Cadillac, Funky.
That album was nuts. That album was crazy. Andre 3000 is an amazing artist, dude. They're all.
Yeah, but that Onyx on Slam. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. Everybody waited for Sticky Fingers verse. He's actually one of my top 3 MCs of all time is Sticky Fingers. Believe it or not, I love that fucking guy. I met him in an elevator. He was so humble. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, we're working on the second album, which was at the time. And the second album, if anybody knows, there was a song called Veronica on it. Their second album it just changed the face of hip hop. It was like a movie. You know, they had songs that were like movies. Like, go listen to the second Onyx album, the song called Veronica, and you'll appreciate it, as well as Black Trash, The Diary of Kirk Jones, which was a solo album by Sticky Fingers. It's a movie from beginning to end. He has a song talking to God. He has a song talking to the devil. He has a song about money. It's one of the most incredible LPs I've ever heard in my life. The most creative, next to the Slim Shady LP.
No, he's in my Cameron in '97.
Yeah, Cameron. I love Cameron. Cameron's great. Killer Cam.
Veronica.
Yeah, Veronica, Onyx. One of the most influential songs.
Dude,
on
these
that
kids
album.
don't even know how it was though with us growing up. Like when we wanted to hear a song, I remember I'd have a blank cassette, calling the radio station to hit play and record. Now I'm just like anything in the world, which is
Yeah,
nice. But we struggled. We
we sure
struggled.
did. We sure did, man. You go in and look at an album for the artwork, right? You go into a record store and you just look at the artwork, and you didn't really know what was going on. There wasn't a lot of influence back then. You know what I mean? It was just what you wanted to hear.
Yeah, but I like all the Railroad records. Even like, listen, I'm not gonna lie, it's great that we can just pick any movie or whatever. But even go like the Blockbuster back in the day and picking out movies and just all that type of stuff. It's just different though nowadays. It's
Yeah, man.
completely different though. Jim Jones' cousin was my neighbor.
That's wild. I love Jimmy Capel. I met him once in a gym. He wasn't too friendly though.
What was I gonna say? Mikey, always thank you so much, my man.
Yes,
I am
sir.
gonna relax after I hope you enjoy tomorrow's episode, my friend, and worked hard on it and I enjoyed doing it. And thank you
Appreciate it,
very
brother.
much for coming on though
Absolutely.
tonight as well. Already on an hour. Wow, already an hour and 41 minutes. No shit. Because remember before, like, yeah, no, we'll do an hour. Time's been flying on these lives, which I love though. You know what I mean? Because just getting into good conversation and the time flies. So yeah, folks, hit that like button, subscribe, share with your buddies, and a lot of stuff though will be dropping this week. And with that, yep, follow Mikey on Instagram at Mikey
Mikey
Faz.
Faz _
Anyone wants to
Resto
follow this?
Rebuild.
Go ahead.
Follow
Go ahead,
Resto
buddy. Sorry.
Rebuild on Instagram too, man. My boy Robert Samora. And my boy Loomis. Follow Loomis, the Loomis Show.
Yeah, I was gonna say the link is in the description if you want to follow on Instagram as well, because I put up a lot of stuff that I don't put up on YouTube on Instagram, and as well, what was the other thing I was gonna say? Besides that link, what the hell was I gonna say? I had something else I was gonna say, but I totally forgot. Yeah, well, links in the description, and Mike's IMDb. Give him a follow there, or why, whatever, however that works. The IMDb, and yeah, that's it. You got anything else you got to say, buddy?
No, I just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in, Dave. OG, everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you, OG Ruby, for tuning in. Thank you, David Lopez, and everybody else that tuned in. And
All you guys, absolutely, Dave, as always. I always do this. OG Robe, absolutely. Ron Archer, MR1, thank you so much. He's got to give him the follow as well. Reed,
thank
Raiders,
you
my
guys.
cousin. Great ducking point. Thank you so much. Dominic Calandra, gentlemen, love that guy. DJ, as always, thank you so much. And Frank, my man, always appreciate you. And oh, thanks, Great Ducking Point. I love Loomis's voice. Rarity. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Go Irish. And with that, Mikey, I will talk to you. Yeah, I'll give you a call tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow, my man.
All right, Loomis. You have a good night, my brother. I'll talk to you
Yeah, I'm
tomorrow.
gonna relax and watch a movie and just unwind. I need it.
Me too. I can hear my son bouncing off the walls. I gotta go see what the hell he's doing.
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you then tomorrow, man. You have a great night.
You too, guys. Take care. Love you guys.
Later, my man. Subscribe up though, folks. And this was a last minute little live. And thank you again. Don't forget, normal lives every week consistent are 7 p.m. Sunday night. and shows will be dropping as they go. And every topic type shows definitely Saturday 3 p.m. Eastern, but the pre-records, but the main lives that we're always on is 7 p.m. Eastern Sunday night. With that, thank you again to everyone, and like and subscribe, or just thank you for the time for watching. I appreciate that. Take care.